Okay, guys. Elements of art, principles of design. You have your notes in front of you. This presentation, we were talking about this earlier in the week. I want to show you guys a featured artist. I came across his work the other day as I was preparing for you. This guy's work came up in my Instagram feed, okay? And I thought, man, I was super, super impressed with his work, and so I want to share it with you guys. All right, so here we go. Real world examples of the elements and the principles at work, okay? Okay, our featured artist. This guy is real alive and well in Virginia. His company is Print Jazz. He's a trio of talents based out of Fredericksburg, Virginia. They create posters, logos, all kinds of stuff, right? And he can actually be commissioned. So remember when we were talking earlier at the beginning of the year about fine art versus graphic design work? He runs his own business, right? So he's working as a freelance designer, but he also can be commissioned. So people really like his style. They go to him and they say, hey, Pete Morlowicz, can I hire you to do this work for me? And he does. He's continually inspired by everyday symphony of shape, color, sound, and texture. Did those sound familiar? Dee's nodding her head. Yeah, it does. Which one of those is out of place from our elements of art?
Sound.
Sound is out of place, right? You bet. But how cool is that, you guys, that he's inspired by sound? When we did our Who I Am one-on-one interviews, what was that, week before last?
Yeah.
Do you know not one of you left music out of something that you're passionate about? Every one of us loves music, right? He is inspired by sound in his graphic design work. Isn't that cool? And didn't you guys share that with me too? You're like, yeah, I love all this different, you guys were sharing all this different music and genres and all kinds of stuff. You were all over the place. How neat is that he uses sound? Because doesn't that change our moods? Lifts us up. Sometimes it makes us happy and cheery. Sometimes we need to be more relaxed and kind of melancholy. This guy uses sound as inspiration, along with a bunch of our elements, our shapes, colors, textures. Now, who's my cat lovers in here? Who's my animal lovers? Yeah, don't be bashful. I know you're in here. Check this out. He said he has a trio, right? A trio working for his company. It's just him and his two cats. I love that his cats are part of his team. What do you need, honey? Okay, Graham on the left and Emmy on the right. Those are his cats. Now, I'm not going to lie. I did a little stalking on this guy's website and on his Instagram. I read through all of his information. He's super, super interesting. That little cat, Emmy on the right, he said she has ruined thousands of dollars of his posters and print work because he prints it, lays it all out, and then she runs across it. And so there's kitty tracks all over his studio. I just thought that was kind of cute. All right, so that's who we're getting to know today, okay? Let's kick off his first work. Now, this is just a sampling, guys. This is not all of his work. I hear dang. What do you guys think? If we're talking about, what's those three types of design we talked about? There's three types. Go, Christoph. Hear me? I can hear you.
Effective, ineffective, and wow.
Wow. What do you guys think? Ineffective? Effective? Wow.
Effective.
You think effective. So you're not super taken with this one. All right. He calls it the Big Apple skyline. Okay, Big Apple skyline. So it's a cityscape of New York, of course. What kind of elements do you see? What did he use? What are his building blocks? Color. Go, Ish. Good.
Color, shape, and texture.
Okay. Color, shapes, texture. There's 3 of our 7. What else do you see? Outlines meaning lines, right? Absolutely.
There's balance between the colors.
Okay, that's going to get down into our principles. You're right. There is so much balance, Tristan. Good job on that one.
There's space.
Space. Heck yes, there's space.
Pattern. The water.
Yep, that gets down into our principles, but you're exactly right. We're going to get there. Value. Talk to me about value. What is it, Ish? Do you remember?
It refers to movement, velocity, or lightness and darkness of the color.
You got it. Absolutely. And we see that a little bit maybe in the blue, which leads me into one of our next questions. Do you see a gradient in this work?
No.
Mondo, look again.
Yeah.
Where?
The sky.
Bryce is right. Where do you see it?
The sky.
The sky. Okay, of our 3 gradients that we've been using, which one is it? I hear radial. What do you think, Jordan?
Radio.
Raise your hand if you think it's radial. And you put deodorant on this morning. No? It is radial. And isn't it really, really subtle? You see it, Mariano? It's super subtle. It kind of popped out at me. I'm not kidding. Last night, I was laying there in bed working on my MacBook, and I was putting this together. And as I looked at each piece of his design work, there's a gradient in that one. I like it. Let's keep moving. What do we see? What are we talking about right here? What is it?
Lion and sheep.
Lion and a lamb? Everybody see the lion and the lamb?
Yeah, I like this.
You like this one? Simple? What's that acronym? What are we doing here? We kiss. We like to kiss in this class. Not like everybody else now. We do things a little different. So what are we doing here?
Keep it simple.
Keep it stupid simple. Now, don't you call each other stupid. No way. No way. You guys are way too smart for that. But there is a stupid part of this, and it is to keep it stupid simple. We do not have to overdo it, guys. Why overthink everything? Anybody else like that in here? Any perfectionists? 1 or 2? Absolutely. And we make it too difficult sometimes. Can we talk? We got a lamb and a lion. Let's talk about principles. Can we jump down that list, right? We got the elements on top. We got the principles down below. Guys, lion and a lamb, which principle of design is that, as I stutter?
Unity. Emphasis.
Noah. It's contrast. Somebody read me the definition of contrast. What is it? Thank you, Dee. A large difference between 2 things. Is there a large difference between a lion and a lamb?
Yeah.
Was that pretty genius of him to work that into this design?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. What else do you guys see in this one?
Flowers.
Lots of space. Okay, no, that's fine. We can talk elements, we can talk principles. You guys bounce around. What?
Movement.
Movement. She sees movement. Where do you see it? Where do you see? In the lamb. Okay, and what is that? How is he making that movement? What's he using? Space, some lines. Would you call that who said that? Was that you? Did you just say pattern? You did too? I know your voice. Absolutely, absolutely. Guys, he used a pattern to create movement. Gosh, I love that. Couple little splashes of color. Super simple, right? Let's get into some of these deeper designs because, man, this next one's liable to blow your socks right off.
Wow.
I love that reaction in you guys. Okay, he's got sky number 1 on the left, sky number 2 on the right, okay? While he was on a road trip, I love that this guy works his normal everyday life into his work. So cool, all right? It's so, so cool. He's on a road trip with a buddy. He's inspired by nature. They got down into this like industrial kind of warehouse type of, I don't know, back far side of the tracks kind of area, okay? Look how he turned into the most cool design ever, right? Total industrial. He's back there. It's like a factory of some sort. When you go to his website, he actually says on there, he could not decide. He was so inspired by the natural sunset that was happening, right? What is that nature always, what comes from nature? What have we been studying about? The gradients, absolutely. Go, Jordan, what do you got?
In the water, there's a reflection of the sunset.
Oh yeah, there is also.
What a cool detail. I love that you saw that because you know what? I've been looking at this for like a week and I hadn't even seen that yet. I love that. Noah, go.
There's also stars.
Stars in the sky. B?
I like the second style a little better because you can see the lights a bit more
Blends in. So maybe there's not enough contrast. I love it when you fill in my blanks. Bryce, good job. Okay, I chose this comparison that he put together for a really good reason, okay? How many of you have asked me, show your hands, how many of you have asked me, Miss Scott, I don't know what color to put on my background? How many has done that? Anybody say that? And you're like, Miss Scott, I need your, but yeah. Yeah, sometimes, right? And you're like, Miss Scott, I don't know what to do with this, or I've got this going here. And I say, I've got a great idea. And then I always laugh and I say, well, I don't know if it's a good idea or not. Let's try it, right? We have to not be afraid to try. And in here, I love that we do that, right? It's okay if we fail once in a while, right? We have to try it first to know if it's going to work. So it's okay if we fail at this once in a while, because in here, it's pretty easy to fix it, right? We just Command Z it, gone. Let's try again. Yep, undo. Undo, delete the layer. But we can try new things in here. I love that he did this. He wasn't sure. And Bryce, I think he was probably struggling with what you were saying. It's a nighttime sky. He was inspired by this natural sunset that was happening. I think what you're saying is valid. The lights don't show enough. There's not enough contrast on the left, but there is when he darkened the sky on the right-hand side. And it was just a little bit later. This is a real scene that he was seeing. He just animated it and turned it into an illustration. I love that, right? It is nice, yeah. Okay? So I wanted you guys to see that as a professional, he still goes back and forth with which one he likes better, right? So don't be afraid to try it. Oh my gosh.
Nice. I like that one.
Nice. I like that one too, Tristan. I do too. All right, take this one in for a minute. Who knows what a narwhal is? What the heck's a narwhal?
It's a sea unicorn.
It's a sea unicorn, okay. Okay. It's like a whale with a horn out the top of its head, right? It is. I saw this whole documentary. It is. It's like a tusk. It's really supposed to be a tusk, but it's a horn. They're a unicorn. A tooth, a tusk, tomato. I don't know. Okay. Guys, what do you see? First off, do you see a gradient? Oh, pattern. Oh, yeah. Do you see a gradient? Tristan, do you see a gradient?
Yes.
What is it?
It's the background fading. It's just freeform.
Freeform. Which type of freeform? Because remember, you can do a freeform gradient 2 different ways. Ian, do you agree? I see you getting all excited over there about that. It's a line freeform, isn't it? Yeah. How we make that ocean? How long do you think it took him to do all 10 of those fish? Because I counted them. There's 10. Not counting the narwhal.
You would probably do one and then copy and paste it.
So when we're talking about being a freelance graphic designer, time is money. Time is money, so we need to work smarter, not harder. Dang it, you guys, it's like you've been listening. I love it. Working smarter, not harder. So if you take a close look at those fish, they are all the same. He copied and pasted them, but before he did some small tweaks to them. Mondo, what are you seeing with those fish?
Movement,
Yeah, lots of movement.
the fish and the background. Because a lot of it's like it's moving natural moving and the fish go along.
Yeah. But then I love that there's like this one little Dory themed one up here in the front. Look at her. Everybody else is kind of like in forward motion and she's like, nope, not me. I'm going to go with my own direction.
It kind of looks like I'm not really sure what he did, but all the patterns of the fish are the same direction, even if the fish change.
Nice,
Like-
huh? So like he rotated them. He scaled them. Pardon the pun. I know I'm not talking about fish scales right now. He scaled the size of them, right? Made some of them smaller. This guy that's up here in the foreground, made it larger so we can see that, right? He made that depth and dimension, but then he rotated some of them too. That's really good eyes.
What if he cut out each shape? I know
Yeah,
that sounds
I
kinda
don't
weird.
think they're individual shapes because all the lines and the patterns go the same way.
Yeah, like
I think they're cutouts and then the pattern in the fish is behind everything.
Interesting.
That's
Okay.
smart.
Yeah.
Nelson, are you seeing it too?
Like if the fish is pointed down, all the lines are still the same way.
Still the same direction,
and there's like a clump of fish right here in the bottom corner.
right? There's 3 of them right there, huh?
Yeah.
2 smaller ones and then that